The commentary done by Diggity. This is game 3 from the opening round of Starcon 2024 that was played in Seattle. Upper right corner we got Herbmon starting as the blue Zerg. Bottom right corner we got Semih as the red Protoss. This is on Polypoid. With all sorts, there's a lot of scattering things out here. I do wonder why they make some of them hallucinations and they leave other ones to just be flying things on the map. It's like maybe to mess with the players a little bit, because prevent very, very early scouting. Just have Bengal losses spinning ad nauseum. Anyway, it's been a fun series thus far. Turned into more macro games, both directions. Semih having some nice army maneuvering, and I'm wondering if the game actually would have switched state if Herbmon had a few more control groups set up. Seemed like Semih got a lot of attacks off right as Herbmon had a little bit of scattered queue. And I'm also curious if we're going to see a gateway first opener potentially. Semih is going for a pylon scout here. Does he see the Overlord? Saw the edge of the Overlord potentially if he was keeping an eye on his screen. And is going to have first scout this time. This time we're seeing it looks like a flat 9 pool from Herbmon with the gas cancel. I think that's what he did actually last round and I just missed it. But are we going to see a 12 Nexus? That would be a little bit nuts. So probably going to see a Forge opener, because usually when you want the gateway, you want that Zealot out as rapidly as possible. And here we got a bit of a delay. So it's going to be 3 Forge openers versus Herbmon. And Probe doing its best to go ahead and detract from that natural expansion. Has done a pretty good job of doing so thus far. And Herbmon... I think the other interesting bit, I think Herbmon maybe gotten a concept of the scouting direction, because he's not sending out... Ooh, nice damage there on that drone thus far. Ooh, a missed Overlord timing from Herbmon. So spawning pool up. What happened there? Bit of a detraction of early play. So now the Overlord out and some Zerglings being built, but a bit late. Nexus canceled, interestingly enough. Seeing the Zerglings built, just getting the 2 cannons down to deal with the 6 Zerglings, just in case, and now that hatchery dropped otherwise. Could be this is just normal and I'm sick and messing up my StarCraft commentating. I'm trying to think though, I don't think I think the Overlord comes out a little bit earlier in that swatch of things. It could be that Herbmon was trying to skip it, or was distracted a bit by the hatchery right there, but anyway. Probe doing a good job distracting these Zerglings. We're not seeing speed as of yet. I'm curious with all these Zerglings pulling back. No, we don't see a canceled cannon. So, Semih not really going to be able to capitalize on the early Zerglings as much as he might have been able to otherwise. So, a little bit later Nexus, just playing it absolutely safe here, though. Which makes sense, being that he's in a tournament situation. This is... yeah, play the absolute safe game. So, natural expansion up. Drone, rather than going for the high ground mineral only, is in fact going to go to the 12 o'clock, it looks like, to plant down. We do have another probe that's managed to sneak out on the map to go ahead and confirm that location. And the Zergling going to trail all the way to the main. This is the second cannon. What it does do, though, is it, because of the delay, so it delays the Nexus, but it also delays the gateway. So you're going to see fewer Zealots here in the mid-game, which if Herbmon did want to open up with 973, would put him in a pretty good situation to go ahead and go for mid-game and late-game contain, just because of that lower Zealot count. And I feel like actually that's why, just to have that option for the Chaos on mid-game is why gateway openers have become a lot more had been a lot more popular with 973 in between. So Probe going to draw back. We could see some cannoning here to the north. Semih able to spot the hatchery, but it looks like he's not going to dedicate the Probe to do so. It's kind of a risky play. Zergling is going to go ahead and wander out to go ahead and negate that possibility. Anyway, gas is up. Layer is on its way. So we're seeing kind of a similar second gas, though, here for Semih. So I'm wondering if he's going to go for that +1 play once again. And he also put this cybernetic score a little further away. Stargate building, Herbmon able to go in and confirm. He did see no spinny spin right this second, but that doesn't mean that Semih couldn't queue it up again later. Usually when you see this second gas, that means it's going someplace. Could be into more High Templar in the mid-game. Maybe try to sneak out a Dark Templar or two. We'll see. Could be double Stargate. There's always that option. But more often than not, it is to just get, you know, that flush of High Templar. Probe wiped out. Try to get a... Looks like it is going to be 4-hatch instead. But the 4th hatch dropped... Never mind. 4th hatch and Hydralisk then, so it's just going to be straight 5-hatch. Skipping the Spire this time. Maybe because of all of the earlier problems. 2 Zealots are also wandering out, so... Semih might get some damage done with this. A couple Zerglings were queued up. Spotted. Nice drone drill initially here from Herbmon that honestly is going to save him a lot of drones. So there's some delayed binding time, but that could have been a lot worse. Could have been a lot worse. And he doesn't even lose a drone as a result. So natural expansion up. We got some Hydralisks are going to need to be constructed ASAP. Zealot going to go ahead and make its way back to potentially protect... Well, actually, never mind. I'm a little bit off on my timing. This is what I get for being sick. Citadel of Adun built, queued up. Corsair, Zerglings near the front. We do have Hydralisk speed, so this is kind of a 4-hatch. It could be a 4-hatch bust, honestly. We'll have to see how many Hydralisks get constructed out of this. This Overlord certainly going to get wiped out early. Herbmon recognized it, so just moving it forward field to go ahead and sacrifice. Second gas getting plopped down, so never mind. Usually if you're seeing just the 4-hatch all in with the Hydralisks, you don't see the second gas getting grabbed in the midst of that. But Herbmon is supply capped briefly. Cannon canceled in the space of that, not seeing additional Hydralisks making the way to the front. So, and there's that 5th hatch drop. So we're seeing an old school 5-hatch play now from Herbmon. And Overlord speed just about online. He's got plenty of Hydralisks to go ahead and defend. And this is a... This might have been in response to the previous Stark Templar play, but we do have that Templar archives being built. Man, can't talk all of a sudden. And a couple can't. And Semih, seeing the Hydralisks, plopping a few additional cannons down. Never mind, canceling one of them. Because maybe not feeling like he was going to get enough Psystorm in time to deal with Herbmon's plane. Noticing the lack of Spire. And we do have transport building once again, so Herbmon actually just going straight to basically transport Hydralisk drop play. Zealot's going to go ahead and storm out and do what they can. We do have a little bit of a gateway flood behind here from Semih, which is going to bring his count up to a total of 6. I would not be shocked to see him go for a 7th and an 8th as well. 2 Corsairs patrolling around. Not able to get an Overlord, but at least able to keep eyes active. The Zerglings retreating to the 12 o'clock. Not a lot of defensives here at the 12 o'clock as of yet. And the Zerglings and the Hydralisks are going to have to stand and defend here against these Zealots. Zealots do have +1 weapons. Semih going to go ahead and back off for now. I actually think he might have been able, maybe if he cycles around, might have been able to press at the 12 o'clock, but maybe concerned about losing those Zealots for nothing at the forward field as well. So Lurkers being upgraded. We already have some High Templar out. It looks like it is just going to be 6 gateways. Currently, Psystorm about halfway finished in the meantime, and the Zealots just camping out. Holding to defend, or deny, I should say, that 3rd base. But in the meantime, Herbmon close to even on supply at 35 drones, which is really good saturation across 3 bases. He's got drop. He's got Lurkers almost upgraded and starting to move out on the map already. Of course, they're spotting them moving out. Is that going to trigger some... So, and this is only 3 cannons and a little bit of Psystorm. So, well, actually 4 Psystorm. 4 Psystorm's plenty. But this is also just 6 gateways. And so Semih's going to be... well, he's going to need the Psystorms to be really, really good to break out. And if he does break out, he'll have to deal with Herbmon doing kind of similar shenanigans that he was doing previously, which is the Hydralisk drops all over the place and potentially tax a lower unit count in the mid-game. Observatory, range about halfway finished, by the way. Semih putting those pieces into place. And yeah, that supply count dangerously close. Herbmon currently camping over that mineral only. The Zealots there, but not wanting to challenge that many Hydralisks, so going to go ahead and back up. Semih's done a pretty good job of keeping the Corsairs active to keep eyes on troop positioning. initial Size Storm to keep those Hydros back. Actually, Semih, ooh, nice Size Storm. As far as that follow-up, that was a beautiful Size Storm from Semih. Keeping those Hydros back. Herbmon still wants to peck away at this. Finding a couple Zealots on hold position. And another amazing Size Storm. And now the Zealots can just clean up these Hydralisks on the front. So Herbmon overstaying his welcome and is going to end up losing a full control group, but he's loading up those Lurkers in the meantime. Is Semih onto this? So he's got the Corsairs hanging out at the 3 o'clock. Is the other trick. But a drop on the main could be catastrophic, and a lot of Size Storm was expended in that previous defense. He's got, it looks like, well, he's got about 5 Size Storms to maybe clean this up. Semih moving forward with that Zealot attack force and dropping that third in the space of it. The Corsairs not seeing those Overlords grouping up. Is just going to see 6 hatcheries and the Evolution Chamber, so I don't know that he's going to... Well, he just saw a unit load into the... I think that was a misclick there on Herbmon's part. He clicked the Overlord to... the Hydros to defend the Overlord, and instead it loaded into the Overlord. I don't know if somebody caught that or not. But should be a little bit more aware. And now some Lurkers trying to make their way... So we got 2 Lurkers loaded in the main, and 2 others making their way to the natural expansion. Cannon just now warping in at the main. 1 Lurker unloading there. These... Okay, this Lurker's made it across the line, and a simultaneous attack at the mineral only. So that's going to get cleaned up. The Lurker does land, is able to kill a few probes there, and it looks like the Lurkers... Let me get rid of this for you. The Lurkers have mostly cleaned up. How many kills did that guy get? Wasn't able to get a look at the kill count, but it looks like Semih did lose a handful of probes at both locations. Took a little bit of a battering. And maybe got might get an Overlord in response to this. So, supply count's even, which puts Herbmon in a really solid spot. Still waiting on observers in the midst of this. Another drop. This time of just a single Hydralisk right there. At the 3rd. And a big Lurker force being built. Semih... excuse me. Really, yeah, can't stop Herbmon for grabbing additional base. He does have that 3rd, it looks like pretty well sealed. One nice aspect of Polypoid is you have kind of 3 bases in that bottom right quadrant that are pretty easy to group up and hold. I'm not sure that Semih feels... he shouldn't feel comfortable right this second going ahead and grabbing another base, where Herbmon, with even supply, with a lot of vision out on the map, well, single Zealot making his way top left. He's already got some Hydralisks there to deal with it. Let's see if these Corsairs get active. I think a Corsair might have gotten an Overlord kill somewhere. Probably, excuse me, got that Overlord in that back corner. But more Hydralisks grouping up. Hydralisks, can't talk. Grouping up to scoop up and either attack that 6 o'clock or that mineral only. And I think both players actually just kind of sitting back, licking their wounds. Herbmon, so usually as a Protoss, you want to be surging ahead. Be about, I would argue, be, excuse me, at 55 drones at this stage, or 55 probes. And with a sizable enough army where you're about to take your additional base. Instead, Overlord, instead Semih having to sit in a very defensive slot. Observer also over that cliffside edge, and a lot of cannons here to defend that natural expansion. Semih now starting to move up, is going to be able to clear the Overlords there. Taking some hits on his Corsairs out in the field as well. So it looks like he is going to be able to secure the 6 o'clock base. Nice supply surge, but Herbmon, so he's got the top left up. He can easily go ahead and grab that natural expansion. It looks like he's also grabbed that mineral only. He does not have those bases saturated as of yet, though. So Corsairs moving forward, seeing that potentially active. A couple Lurkers are going to go ahead and burrow. Yeah, Herbmon just going to go into full defense mode right here, and I think he's just going to race to getting all of this stuff established in the interim. And Semih, in response, starting to make his way out onto the map to maybe challenge at least one of these holdings. Easiest target, top left. The problem with going to top left, though, is that Herbmon can do a counter flood either the 6 o'clock location or bottom right. So he's going to have to manage this army carefully. So sweeping around, unfortunately, Yeah, Herbmon already has lurkers well ahead of time. They're dying rapidly, though. Sunken Colony's not quite morphed yet. And some great side storms. Oh, my goodness. All sorts of Dragoons diving into this, and I think this is going to be a dead base. I can't see Herbmon coming back. Excuse me, and clearing this out. So nice engagement there from Semih. Easily going to be able to take out this mineral only. He's still got a large standing army that he can just hold position here. And Herbmon going to GG right there, and Semih gets his revenge. I think that was still a fightable position for Herbmon because he did have that top left base. It would take a while to saturate. We're going to rewind half a second here. It'll let us. So still a defensible position, but not a good one. Speed it up and try to pause right before the exit here. Yeah, so basically this mineral only would have gotten white. So let's continue a little bit here. The big problem for Herbmon is loses his space down on supply, so loses all this. You have the Dragoon army standing here. 6 o'clock base going up. He wouldn't be able to stop Semih from grabbing additional territory himself. If the Dragoons pulled back, they wouldn't be able to... I think they would have some trouble going for the 12 o'clock. Herbmon would have been kind of just emergency build mode here. But they maybe could have split off an attack force. Nah, I don't know. I think this is still holdable. I think this is holdable. This is still holdable, at which point it would have been 3 bases. 3 bases versus 3, which kind of puts him at a deficit. Regardless, gonna tap out there. Semih gets his revenge. Great play. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for listening.